Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Slow English Stories. I am your teacher and storyteller, Lio. I am so happy to see you again for a brand new adventure. Today, we are going to explore the story of Kung Fu Panda 4. This is a story about change and how hard it can be to let go of the things we love. But before we start, I want you to be fully present. Please turn off your notifications. Put away anything that might distract you. If you can, please wear your headphones. Using headphones will help you feel the vibration of the staff of wisdom and hear the whispers of the wind in the valley of peace. Are you ready? Let's begin. The sun was golden over the valley of peace, and the air smelled like spicy noodles and fresh peach blossoms. Po sat at a table, happily slurping his soup. Slurp, slurp, slurp. For Po, life was perfect. He was the dragon warrior, the hero everyone loved. But suddenly, the wooden doors of the temple opened with a loud bang. Master Shifu walked in, his staff clicking against the stone floor. He looked very serious. Po, Shifu said, "It is time for you to take the next step in your destiny." Destiny is a word for something that is meant to happen to you in the future, like a special plan for your life. Shifu told Po that he must stop being the dragon warrior and become the spiritual leader of the valley. In this moment, Po felt very reluctant. To be reluctant means you do not want to do something because you are unsure or afraid. Po loved fighting and being a hero. He didn't want to sit and meditate all day. Before we continue, like how I said, Po felt very reluctant. This is the past simple tense. We use it to describe a completed action or a feeling in the past. Po also had to choose a successor. To choose a successor means to pick the next person who will do your job after you leave. Po looked at his staff of wisdom. It was a beautiful wooden staff with the glowing green jewel at the top. This staff was given to him by Master Oogway. This is a great example of the passive voice. We use it when the person receiving the action Po is the focus, rather than the person who did it. Po didn't want to give the staff away. He felt that if he stopped being the dragon warrior, he would lose his identity. Your identity is the set of qualities and beliefs that make you who you are. Po was afraid that without his title, he was just a regular panda again. While Po was trying to find his inner peace, he heard a soft scuff on the floor. A gray fox named Zhen was trying to steal ancient treasures. She was very cunning, which means she was clever in a way that is used to trick people. Zhen was a thief who lived in the big city. Here, I used a relative clause who lived to give you more information about Zhen. Po caught her easily, but she had a terrifying story to tell. She spoke about a powerful sorceress called the Chameleon. This enemy is a shapeshifter, which is a creature that can change its physical form to look like anyone or anything. The air in the room suddenly felt chilly, which means it became uncomfortably cold. Zhen explained that the chameleon has grown very powerful. I used the present perfect tense "there has grown" to show that her power started increasing in the past and is still a huge problem right now. This sorceress is a mimic. She can mimic the voice and face of any master Po has ever fought. To mimic means to copy the way someone speaks or looks. The stakes were very high. If the chameleon stole Po's staff, she could bring back all the villains from the spirit realm. Po looked at Zhen. He didn't know if he could trust her, but he knew he must act quickly. We use the modal verb must when something is a strong necessity. Po and Zhen began their journey to Juniper City. As they walked, the smell of the forest changed. The sweet scent of flowers was replaced by the smell of salt and old wood. Po felt anxious. To be anxious means to be worried or nervous about what might happen. He was wondering if he could really be a leader without his kung fu. I used the past continuous was wondering to describe the thoughts that were moving through his mind during the long walk. As they reached the gates of the giant city, Po saw thousands of lights reflecting in the water. The city was loud, crowded, and full of strange noises. Po had never visited a place like this before. This is the past perfect tense. I used, had never visited because, in all the time before this journey, he stayed in his small valley. As they reached the gates of the giant city, Po saw thousands of lights reflecting in the water. The city was loud, crowded, and full of strange noises. Po had never visited a place like this before. This is the past perfect tense. I used, had never visited because, in all the time before this journey, he stayed in his small valley. Po and Zhen climbed the winding stairs of the high tower in Juniper City. The air inside was humid and smelled like old stone and burning incense. Humid is a word we use when the air feels hot and wet, like in a tropical forest. Po could hear his own heartbeat thump thump, thump thump. He could feel the danger waiting at the top. This is a great grammar point. We use could, followed by a verb to talk about an ability or a feeling in the past. Suddenly, they entered a massive room where the floor was covered in shifting shadows. A small, thin lizard sat on a high throne. It was the Chameleon. She looked small, but her eyes were menacing. Menacing means something that suggests the presence of danger. It is very threatening. Po stepped forward, but the chameleon only smiled. Her skin began to flicker, which means to shine or move with a light that is not steady, as she changed her shape. "Thank you for bringing him to me, Zhen," the sorceress whispered. Po felt a sharp pain in his heart. He looked at Zhen, but the fox was looking at the floor. She had betrayed him. I'm using the past perfect here, had betrayed to show that Zhen made a secret plan with the enemy before they ever reached the city. Po felt deceived. To be deceived means to be tricked by someone you trusted. The chameleon took Po's staff of wisdom. She was going to use it to open the door to the spirit realm. We use was going to talk about a plan or intention in the past. The chameleon tapped the staff on the ground, and the air began to swirl like a dark storm. Swirl means to move in a twisting or spiraling pattern. The ground opened, and the spirits of Tyla, Lord Shen, and Kai emerged from the green mist. The chameleon began to steal their kung fu, her body growing larger and more grotesque. Grotesque means something is very ugly or distorted in a strange way. Po was left with nothing but his own two paws. He would have felt hopeless, but he looked at Zhen. He saw tears in her eyes. He realized that even though she was a thief, she wanted to be better. Po stood tall and looked at the giant monster. "I don't need a title to be a hero," he shouted. He and Zhen fought together as a team. Po taught Zhen a move while they were fighting. Taught is the irregular past tense of the verb teach. He was acting like a master for the first time. Together, they defeated the chameleon and sent the spirits back to their world. The sun began to rise over Juniper City, and the air felt crisp and clean. Crisp air is cold, dry, and very refreshing. Po finally understood his destiny. He didn't need to be the dragon warrior forever. He returned to the Valley of Peace and chose Zhen as his successor. As we learned before, a successor is the person who takes over your job. Po was now a spiritual leader, and he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Fulfillment is the feeling of being happy and satisfied because you have achieved something important. That brings us to the end of the Kung Fu Panda first story. You have traveled through 4 amazing movies with me. You've learned about inner peace, family, and now, the courage to change. I am so proud of how much your English has improved during this series. Now, for our final challenge of the series. In the comments below, I want you to answer this. What is one big change you want to make in your life this year? Try to use the word destiny or anxious in your sentence. I will read every single one. If you found this story-based lesson helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to Slow English Stories. Sharing these videos with your friends helps our community grow. I am Lio, and it has been an honor to be your storyteller. Keep practicing, keep listening, and remember your story is just beginning. See you in the next adventure. Goodbye.